do you like Idris Elba? And
I think he's
I think
okay.
you know where I'm going.
Yeah, I know where. Yeah, he's okay. I mean, it's because he's a good actor, not because he's of his race. Just like
Yeah.
what people like to ask him a lot.
Yeah. I actually liked him as Heimdall. I know that they race swapped Heimdall. Heimdall was supposed to be white, but I'm fine with it because Idris Alba did such an amazing job as Heimdall. I also like we are canceling the apocalypse. I loved him in Pacific Rim. It was great. I'm sad that his character died, but he was really good. And I remember they actually said that Idris Alba should be the next James Bond.
Yeah.
Right? Wouldn't it be great to have a black James Bond? And the thing is that, like, imagine if you are tokenized to being like, oh, you should, because you'll be the first you'll be a black James Bond. It's like, dude, I just want to play James Bond. Don't colorize it saying that I'm going to be the black James Bond. Like, you don't need to do that. Okay? Because you have to see it not because of the color, right? And they even made a joke about it in, I believe, Hobbs and Shaw. I think it was like a Fast and Furious spinoff where he was like the bad guy. And they're like, I'm the black Superman, baby. Like, they actually sort of poke fun of that. And they should, in my opinion, right? But yeah, it's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. So let's actually go ahead and read this over here. It's from Bounding the Comics again. Idris Elba rejects identity politics, reveals he's no longer refers to himself as a specifically black actor. I don't want to be the first black. I'm the first Idris. Yeah, and I feel like that for everything, right? We don't need like Superman should be black. We should have a black Superman. It's like, no, just have a Superman. Who cares about their race? Oh, Little Mermaid is black. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead. I cut you off.
Yeah. It's like I don't need everything to be by race to be able to identify myself. I think Gary mentioned that in Nerdrotic. Like, you don't need to be. It doesn't have to be the same race for you to relate yourself. Or was it? I think Critical Drinker. Does Critical Drinker mention that? Like, these people like to put themselves, self-insertion, like putting themselves in just because it's the same race, when you don't really have to make it a compelling story or compelling characters that you can relate with.
Yeah. It's like, the reason why I didn't watch Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings. I didn't watch
it. I just did it. It's okay. It's
okay.
It's okay.
Oh man.
Average.
I like Tony Leung. Don't get me wrong, because I actually knew him back when he was a Hong Kong actor. When he was like a big Hong Kong actor. So I knew him before he was in this. I didn't watch it. But the thing is that I'm not gonna I joke about it, right? I joke about, what's your favorite? People ask me, what's your favorite Disney movie? I'd be Mulan because it's Chinese. I joke about it, but it's not my favorite Disney movie, right? I do like Mulan a lot. Don't get me wrong, but the reason why I watched it wasn't because it's Chinese. Like, I didn't watch, like, the reason why, like, it's like, you expect me to watch Crazy Rich Asians just because it's Chinese? No, right? I will watch something because it's good. It's like, oh, did you watch Everything Everywhere All at Once? Oh, it's Chinese. You should watch it. And I'm like, I will watch something because it's good, right? I don't care about these like identity politics. I don't care. Oh, you should watch Shang-Chi and because the first Chinese actor in Marvel. It's like, no, the first Chinese actor in Marvel is Benedict Wong. Okay, the guy who played or whatever the guy who played Wong. That's the first Asian actor.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, but this is the star though. It's like, dude, I don't care about that. Like, I just give me good stuff, right? You ever hear? I always liked Idris as an actor, and now I like him even more. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is great. In a rare instance with a sanity within an industry, completely obsessed with the inherently detrimental concepts of identity politics, actor Idris Elba has revealed that he no longer describes himself as specifically black actor due to the limiting and regressive connotations the term implies. The Sonic the Hedgehog 2 star revealed his voluntary change in language during a recent conversation with Esquire's UK. Following the discussion on his early childhood and upcoming film sequel to his popular detective series Luther, The Fallen Son, Alba and Bilmes eventually broached in the general topic of race. Ostensibly asked by Bilmes about his experiences with racism, the published Esquire UK piece is formatted in such a way that the reporter's questions are omitted in favor of spotlighting Alba's responses. I'm always curious why this is fascinating to people. It's a question I get asked a lot. I don't go to my black friends in conversation and ask them to tell me about racism. Have I ever faced racism? Yeah. Elaborating on his seeming annoyance at the premise of Bilme's unknown question, the actor asserted, if we spent half the time not talking about the differences but the similarities between us, the entire planet would have shifted in the way we deal with each other. Yeah, I think everyone is too fixated on that.
Yeah.
Right. And I believe we're sort of going backwards, in my opinion. We're sort of regressing. We're not progressing forward. It's because a lot of the race things that happened back in like the whole civil rights stuff in the 60s, you know, the whole busing thing with your having your own sink or whatever sitting in the back of the bus, and the whole Martin Luther King thing. I think a lot of us came together. I think during the 70s, a lot of us came together. Not that there isn't racism still, right? But I think people are highlighting that as like the reason why this movie should be seen. This movie should be watched is because the main character is black. And I think that is the message it's trying to push in. A part of many messages, right? And what was your reason to behind watching the first Black Panther?
There wasn't really any political motive for it. It just thought it might be a good movie since it came from Civil War. Yeah, Civil War,
Mhm.
right? Before after Civil War. So it's like, okay, since we don't really know back then, I don't really know who T'Challa was or who Black Panther really was. So
Mhm.
the movie would have been a good way to get into getting to know Black Panther as a superhero.
Mhm. I think I agree with you, right? It's sort of like coming off of Civil War, you're like, "Oh, Black Panther is a badass. Holy shit, I want to see more." And then you watch Black Panther. Like for me, I give Black Panther like an 8. I think it's solid. I think the CGI at the end sort of like it's pretty bad, but overall it's interesting, right? I like Chadwick Boseman a lot. Um, I like Shuri. I like Shuri. Shuri was fun. You know what are those? You know that was fun. And I liked Killmonger as a bad guy. It was great. He had his motives were it makes sense. You know why he
Yeah,
wanted the throne. Why because he's a part of the king, right? He's like I think the brother or something. And let's see. My reason for Black Panther, I liked him a lot in Civil War. Was excited to see him again, but was disappointed. I think overall the movie sort of reminds me of Lion King,
Lion King.
right? If you think about it, right? T'Challa, Simba, and you know, I guess you could say Killmonger is Scar,
Scar.
right? Takes it over, and then he has to come back and take it back from him, right? I don't know. It seemed like Lion King to me.
Yeah, kinda.
Like
And the
now that you
dad,
think about it,
Mufasa dies
yeah, move
or
on.
is dead.
But yeah, um, see, let's see, let's see. As humans, we are obsessed with race, and that obsession can really hinder people's aspirations, hinder people's truth. Not truth, people's growth. Racism should be a topic for discussion. Sure, racism is very real, but from my perspective, it's only as powerful as you allow it to be. I believe they interviewed Morgan Freeman about it, and
Yeah,
then like,
yeah. It's an old interview.
yeah. So he was like, what are your thoughts on Black History Month? And
Mhm.
he's like, what about it? He's like, you know, it's Black History Month. He's like, every day is Black History Month for me. Like, why only celebrate it in 1 month? You know? And he's talking about why is it important to you? And it's funny is because a lot of the people who are actually like, oh, this is important, you should watch this, you should watch that. I think is because of majority of them aren't actually the people who are part of the group. A lot of them are people who are outside of the group. It's because they felt that they have been so racist their entire lives that they have said some terrible, terrible things that they need to atone for their sins. And majority of them are like they a lot of them would say like the N-word. Like one of my friend, I to be honest, I don't know where she at now, but like she's like really really like pro like lifting up oppressed black people and stuff like that, right? Then go ahead, do whatever you want, do your activism, whatever. But then in one of her posts, she said the N-word. I'm like, you can't go say all that thing and all of a sudden say this. This is completely contradicts what you're trying to push for, right? It's sort of like if like someone is like, oh, we should stop Asian hate. There's a lot of Asian hate right now, and all of a sudden I see a person, oh, you're a chink, like saying something like that to me. It's that's the exact same thing. It's like you are not actually you're fighting for this type of justice. Is all for show.
Yeah,
it's all for you to get brownie points, likes on Instagram, right? And like I'm like sure, like if you want to do that's by all means your prerogative. I'm not going to stop you, but I'm just pointing out the hypocrisy, right? It sucks. It sucks. And to that end, Alba then informed Bilmies, I stopped describing myself as a black actor when I realized it put me in a box. We've got to grow, he urged. We've got to. Our skin is no more than that. It's just skin. Rant over. And it's sort of like when ultimately people die. And then when you exhume their bodies, or you see their skulls or the skeleton or the corpse or their decomposed body, what do you see? You see bones. May it be a woman's bone or a male's bone, right? You don't see skin color. You don't see any of that. And I think that's how it should be, right? And I think people just fixate into race way too much. And I think if we stop doing that, it'll be a lot better. And that's the reason why I did you watch you said that you haven't watched The Office yet, right?
Yeah, not yet.
I'm gonna say something here for one of the episodes, which I thought was freaking hilarious. So one of the characters played by John Krasinski, his name is Jim, and he's not my favorite character in the show, but he's like one of them. He's like one of the more of the he's like one of the leads, right? And he plays a prank on Dwight, which is played by Rainn Wilson. Every single day, whenever he can, like he'll either put his stapler in the Jello, or he'll call him and make some weird noises, or he'll put extra keys into his key ring. So by the time he's holding these keys, is like the key will his pants will fall off. So he does all these jokes. So one day he called up his actor friend, who's played by who's that guy that was in forgot his name. He's a comedian actor. And he was in The Interview. He played Kim Jong-un.
Oh.
I forgot his name already.
I don't know his name.
But you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I need to know his name, or I'm gonna be angry.
Only remember Seth.
Seth Rogen. See, director, screenplay. Nope. The Interview. Damn, this movie's 2014.
Yeah, it's pretty way back.
Randall Park. So the episode starts off with Randall Park sitting in Jim's desk, and he's dressing exactly how he is. And he's like, "Who are you? Where's Jim?" He's like, "What are you talking about, Dwight? I'm Jim. I am Jim." He's like, "No, you're not. Jim is white." And he's like, "Jim is white, and you're not." He's like, and he basically jokes with him. He's like, "Good for you for not seeing color." So he sort of trolls him, but it's sort of like we need to move on from that. It's like, who cares? Like, I don't care who's playing a character, but if in the comic books or in movies, this person has been 100% white the entire time, as a person who's consuming said media, I'm going to assume that this person is going to be white, right? This person is going to be Asian or something like that. And I think that's where we should go. Like, who cares about the skin of a color? Oh, is there a person of color that's gonna be in the cast? Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, is the movie good? Like, that's all I care about.
That's all that matters.
So it's from The Lost Tales. So it's becoming more clear that actors labeled as person of color want more diverse roles, but are put into boxes associated with their skin color. This new intricate level of racism is crazy. Yeah, it's sort of like, oh, we need this person, we need this person. Oh, we're just gonna put this. It's like if a movie is good, maybe if it's an Asian person, black, white, Hispanic, or whatever it is, it's like I'm just gonna love the movie. And it does sort of put them into a box, right? It's like, who, we need we need a bunch of mathematicians who are very good at math and are good with money. Oh, Asian person. It's like, that's racist, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're trying to be so not racist that you become racist yourself. Yeah. But it's so sort of sucks.
Yeah,
it sort of sucks that like that some people can't play these specific roles is because you are Hollywood basically puts you in this box alone just because you have your skin color. Alba further rejected Hollywood's penchant for identity politics by noting that rather than having his career heralded as inspiration for just black individuals, he wanted it to stand as a testament to potential for people who grew up in rough circumstances similar to himself. I accept that this is part of my journey to be aware that in many cases I might be the first to look like me to do a certain thing, and that's good. To leave as a part of my legacy, so that other people, black kids, but who also white kids growing up in the circumstances I grew up in, are able to see there was a kid who came from Canning Town who ended up doing what I do. It can be done. I think it's better for the background, in my opinion, and it doesn't make sense. It's sort of like, I started off as a person who was poor, and then look at where I am now. If I can do it, you can do it. I think that's the message that should be sent out, right? And it's sort of like, imagine if it's like it's a stereotype of like, people that you want in your movies, and it's like, oh, this person, that the stereotype of this person has to be played by this race is because they do it in real life. I don't know. Do you feel the same?
Yeah. It's like, it doesn't matter about the race. It's like, it's just a matter of if the competency, if they can portray the character right, if they can tell the story right. I don't really. It's like, yeah, and maybe even the Little Mermaid. I know it's a very controversial topic right now. It's like, as long as probably the story is good, but I mean the warning signs are there. That's probably it. They're gonna probably insert some woke stuff. But if the story is done right, I mean, I don't mind being Halle Berry as Ariel. It's fine. At the end of the day, it's really just the story. It's like, do I like the story? Is it a better retelling? What innovations did they add? That's all that really matters for me.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I think ultimately, I think for most people, I think as long as the story is good, it doesn't matter who plays a character.
Yeah.
Right? Am I going to be upset that they change out Superman for a different race that's not white? A little in the beginning, I might be. Right? I might be, because that person has been predominantly white the entire time. If they change it out, I'm going to be a little upset. But let's say if the movie's like really good, like I'm like, yes, this is the one thing that I didn't like, but the movie is good though. So that's what we want. Like, prove me wrong, right? Prove me wrong that you can have this character be any race, but it's still really, really good. I think that's ultimately what we want as fans, right? Wrapping up his thoughts. See, did I already? Okay, I reread that already. Okay, Luther, The Fallen Sun is currently set to premiere in select cinemas February 24th, followed by the wide Netflix review on March 10th. So I do like where he stands. I think just like, don't pigeonhole me into this box. Like, I just want to be an actor. I don't want to be a black actor, right? I don't want to be a Chinese actor or a white actor. I just want to be an actor. And it's sort of like, Did you watch Tropic Thunder?
I think I've seen one, but not the entire thing. But yeah, I have an idea what it is.
Right, and it's funny is because Robert Downey Jr. is I think he's an Irish guy. He plays an Irish guy, but in the movie Tropic Thunder, he's an Irish guy playing a black guy. Right, so I think that's where it's like he can do it, but should he do it? Right? If he's gonna put on like a bunch of makeup to make him look like he's black, is that considered blackface? Right? Is that okay? Right? He's not mocking the black person. He's actually playing a character. Is that okay? And that's the reason why even he said, I think he was on a interview with Joe Rogan. He said that would you be able to do Tropic Thunder again? He said that he probably won't be able to do it. It's because he'll get canceled. So it's just like, but that movie, if you haven't seen it, that movie is great. It's freaking hell. He was Australian. Yeah, Australian. Sorry. I thought he was like, and I know he was like, oh yeah, he was Australian. But yeah, it was freaking hilarious. It's because by the end of the movie.
Yeah, go ahead. I recall it's a pretty, it's a fun movie. Pretty comedic. That's what I remember about it.
But at the end of the movie, when he actually takes off his wig and he starts speaking in Australian accent, you're like, whoa. Like he was so in character. That was the crazy thing. He was so in character that that you forgot that, wow, he's a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude. Right? So that was like one of the things. And the thing is that I feel like we can't have any of those movies anymore. Right? Yeah, right here. Right here. I'm the dude playing the dude disguised as another dude. Yo, that shit was fucking hilarious. I love that movie. And like I didn't care how they made fun of if they made fun of Chinese people, if they made fun of Asian people, I don't really care about that. Like the fact that make fun of us too, man. Like I remember in like I was watching Key and Peele, right? Going back to Key and Peele. Mm-hmm. It's like they're like he's like, hey, like he's like, this one time I actually got hit up by Hispanic guys, and they're like, hey, ese, yo, like we hear you making fun of like a lot of black people, but like you don't make fun of us. Yo, you should make fun of us, ese. Don't leave us out. Don't leave us out, man. Make fun of us. Yeah, it's like it's okay. If you're a comedian, if your movie is supposed to be funny, make fun of everyone. Get everyone involved, right? And that's the reason why in Tropic Thunder, when they made fun of that guy, the guy, I know he's Chinese because of based off his accent. He's like, we are flaming dragon. We have Simple Jack. He belonged to us. We want $10 million. Right? So, and even like when they make fun of like Jackie Chan in Rush Hour, I'm like, who cares? That's funny. Right? It's because he's making a stereotype that's not true, maybe is true or not, but he's making fun of him, and it's okay. And that's the reason why they said that like we cannot make Rush Hour in this day and age, is because it will get canceled.
Thanks for checking out this segment of the Project Eggroll podcast. If you like what we do here, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and you will know next time when we go live. We do go live every Saturday at 8 p.m. Once again, we are just getting started. Tons of more video to come. Thanks, and we'll see you guys next time.